Hi everybody, it's Kimberly. Welcome back to the Illumin Guru. For those of you who have been watching the videos of the Twin Flame family, my brand switched over, so you'll have to switch over and like us on the Illumin Guru Facebook page and Instagram. Thank you so much for following. I so enjoy connecting with all of you via email and the comments that you make, and those of you that are in my intensive program right now. It's so amazing to connect and to help guide all of you. A couple of quick announcements for March is so March 6th I have a pet communication workshop. So I do animal communication. So lots of you on the Ascension journey, you have pets, and they are here assisting you, sending you messages, and giving you the ability to grow also at another level. They are working with you to teach you lessons and to help you grow and evolve. And so it's kind of cool. In this workshop will be I can kind of tap into the energy and bring you the messages and help you clarify what the soul contracts are that you're carrying with your pet. I know for some of you that's not a high priority because you're thinking, oh no, I got to do my shadow work, or I've got to do this, or I've got to do that. But think about it. These pets are around you all the time. And you know that there's a special meaning there. And so when you dig deeper and understand what the contract is and how they're helping you, you can then begin to communicate with them better and understand how they're assisting you in your growth and your ascension. So if you want to sign up for that, you can do so on the website under the Sessions tab, and then click on Classes and Workshops. Then also 2 new workshops that were added. They're meant to be taken in tandem. They're for March 13th and 15th. And this is specifically for my viewers who are dealing with twin flames, or are in relationships, or have been in relationships, or have had even parental figures who are narcissistic or have narc tendencies. This was not something that I felt like I was really going to create this year, but I have just had an overwhelming amount of emails and requests to work on these aspects. And so the first workshop is basically understanding narcissistic abuse and uncovering whether you are in a narcissistic type of connection and what that means from a spiritual perspective as well as a psychological perspective. And then the second workshop, which is a continuation on that same week, is going to go more in depth. It's a longer workshop. And in that workshop, we're going to explore what this means for you. What's the point of attraction within you? How do you set better boundaries? How do you get into greater self-love? And how do you detach while still holding space, which is the trickiest of all? And how do you uplift the other person without labeling or pigeonholing them, or in essence, judging or downshifting them in your perspective. So these workshops are called Narcissism, a Spiritual Perspective. I hope that you'll join us if this subject matter hits home for you. And you can sign up for that on the website as well, theilluminguru.com. Of course, if you want to work a private session, you can book those sessions online. So this is the energy update for March. And so in March 2nd, we have a full moon in Virgo, and that's coming up quickly here. That'll be the end of next week. And so I'm going to speak to the energies in the collective right now. And I've labeled this video Full Surrender and Clarity. And I will weave that into the messages here and tell you what that means as we go. All right, so I've pulled a spread here for typical spread, Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine, shared energies. So the Divine Feminine is being called into her feminine power, okay? And they're saying that the way that she's going to achieve this is not only through trusting her intuition and getting rooted more fully in her truth and the fullness of her expression in that truth, but also by being present. And so that's what the Here and Now card is coming up right underneath this. And it's saying It's time to be more present. And this is about allowing things to come to you. And this is all part of the surrender. So look at this card, because there's a sign here that says past and there's a sign here that says future. So when we are waiting for a future outcome, we are attached to a timeline or attached to a certain outcome or attached to something. It's a negative cord of attachment. It's a negative line of attachment. It actually slows things down, okay? When you're not attached, but you have a vision in mind or something you want to do or accomplish, or just you're able to just hold a vision without the attachment, without the expectation, then you're not waiting, then there's no negative cord. But that's very hard to do in its purest form, especially when we've got a lot of residual negative energy from within that needs to be cleared. And again, those layers from within are their past life stuff, their ancestral karma and imbalances. Those are your inner child wounds and your beliefs, your limiting beliefs, your fear-based beliefs. Those are all things that keep us apart from surrender. And those are all the things that we work on in my intensive program. So if you missed this intensive program, which we're doing right now, I will offer another one in the April-May timeframe. So keep that in mind. So thinking about that, all those different cords of negativity and attachment from within, then we have negativity and attachment with our twin flame, right? Resentments and past hurts and ways that we're feeling negative towards the situation or circumstances, wanting it to be different, feeling like it should be different. So what they're saying is get into trust, get into alignment with yourself, and get in the now. Okay, here and now, because that's going to enable you to surrender. So what's the easiest way to get present? What's the easiest tool that you can reach to become present when you're future tripping or when you're past dwelling? The easiest thing to go to is gratefulness. So if you start to look at your immediate surroundings and go, okay, what am I grateful for? What do I like? What is going well? And that's going to start to infiltrate your energy. As the gratefulness kind of sets in, you're going to start to feel more at peace and less in resistance. When we're feeling like something should be another way, or we need it to be this way, or we need it to be that way, all you're doing is you're riddling the energy with resistance. So we want to take out that resistance and get present. And the best way to do that is to get grateful. And I know it sounds really simple, but it is. And it is through, so like I've said in videos before, you can start in your immediate surroundings. Like, okay, looking literally at the room or the space that you're in and going, what am I grateful for in here? What am I grateful for within? And then make it bigger and bigger and bigger and start to zoom out on your life and have your focus go there, because that is presence, and it'll get you at least out of that past dwelling, future tripping sort of mentality. It'll get you out of your analytical mind and put you more into your feminine energy, which is acceptance and allowance and receiving and trusting that this is where you need to be right now and not fighting it, right? Just really rooted in your feminine energy. So underneath for the feminine, we have the Devil card is showing up here. And these are the chains that are still keeping us bound to something. It feels like negative. These are the negative lines of attachment. These are patterns that we have been working on since the last eclipses, like since August or even longer, that we're still trying to break. And so I want to remind you that it's not through effort that we'll break them. It is through understanding and awareness and having the right tools that we can make the shift. Because the difference between you breaking these patterns and continuing them is simply a shift in perspective. And your perspective can shift like this. We need to become the observer of selves. That means this is an interesting picture, because you can see She's also, this little girl here, who is a representation of you, is floating above. She's not only in the present, but she's also she's in a higher perspective. And so it is the low vibrational energies that are keeping us caught in these cycles or these patterns, whether you keep going back to something that's unhealthy for you, or you're repeating your own cycles of reactivity, or you are, still not setting the healthy boundaries, or if you're still chasing your twin flame. These are all aspects that you still have to work on at a deeper level within you to really, really say, okay, why are the polarities imbalanced within me? Why am I not in my divine feminine power and I'm swinging on the pendulum, right? Like I'm either really reactive, false masculine, or I'm being a doormat and not setting a boundary. It's like the subdued feminine. And it's like, so what does it mean to be in my true power so that I can break these cycles? Because these cycles are stemming from, like I said, inner child wounds and our subconscious and cellular level stuff. And you've got to dig deeper. And if you need help digging deeper, you can work with me in soul coaching session. And I can help you identify what this is that may be keeping you in a stuck place. Because breaking these chains are also, this gives you the ability to surrender. When you clear the lines of negativity and attachment, the toxic cycles, the low vibrational patterns and thinking, this frees us to become fully surrendered. And in that surrender, you will be able to fully align with yourself and also hold space for your twin flame without needing, wanting attachment. And it's a much more joyful experience. And I know you all hear your healers and teachers talk about this a lot, but it is the truth. It is joyful. And so if you're feeling pain and torture and you're like, I need to get out of it, reach out for help. Reach out for assistance. There are people, teachers, healers that have tools for you. I have tools for you. It can help you shift through this. So, and then underneath that, so like the past life stuff and the early life stuff that we're bringing forward. So sort of the karma, the stuff that's underneath the subconscious stuff for the feminine is this, they're saying like false perspective or false beliefs about what the male and female roles are. So this to me just still feels like the balancing the polarities from within and understanding what that is. How do you harness your true power? What does a feminine look like and feel like in her power? What does a masculine look and feel like in his power? What does this mean? Okay, and I'll hold another balancing the polarities and harnessing your power workshop sometime, probably in April or May. But in the meantime, you can reach out and work with me in private session to work on these things. I have a session called Harnessing Your Divine Power, and we work on all of these aspects. So understand that, and understand that that's part of your struggle, that swinging on the pendulum or the feeling stuck. Is that not being in alignment with your true power, okay? And that is what enables you to surrender, that in its full self-love. So I just want to remind you, if you're new on this journey, or if you are kind of, if you've been on this journey for a while, but you're not having the breakthrough, remember, it's not about your twin flame. This is a journey of ascension, and it is a journey about self-discovery that leads you to self-love. And it is through that self-love that you learn to love unconditionally. And that is what will enable you to come into union with a twin flame, is that wholeness from within. It is work on you. It is your journey to navigate as an individual. So if you're questioning a separation, remember, those separations are for your benefit. Both individuals need to grow and do work separate from each other without the mirroring. And when you come together, it's for the purpose of mirroring and reflection. Okay? And to be triggered and to see those wounds and that's basically, it's like a map. It's like a treasure map, right? All right. So for the masculine, We have the Ace of Pentacles, which I feel like is a breakthrough for him. It's something new. It's a new way of breaking out of some complacency. So it feels, so underneath this is what's happening is I feel like he's surrendering to a higher power, and that's surrender. That is surrendering to a higher power. And the reason why he is because he hasn't been happy with things. It's whether it's the karmic relationship that he's breaking free of, or things at work, I feel like is a big thing. It's like he's looking at his life and saying, wow, I'm destined for something more. I need to make some changes this year. I'm really feeling like the way that things have been just not satisfying to me and not gratifying. And so he's yearning for something bigger. And so this could mean that he's allowing the higher power to take over so that he can, sorry, I had to exit out of something on my computer, so that he can, do more awakening or do like his work at a deeper level. But this is also like finding his soul's purpose and making some changes in his everyday life. I feel like leaving a toxic karmic partner, getting healthier in his balance with work and what he wants to do in his life. And in this Ace of Pentacles, it's saying that there's soul searching going on, and that this is like a new beginning of sorts. Even if he's in his old work, he's going to approach it in a new way with more balance and with more passion. It feels like this is all about growth for him. So the tree's coming up underneath, and this is growth. And this is funny because look at these two cards. Okay, so here he's sitting under a tree, complacent, dissatisfied, okay, not happy with the way things are and wanting to change but not knowing what he wants, right? No clarity. And this is saying the clarity comes in doing the growth work, and that this is how you climb, this is how you elevate, and this is how you gain the fulfillment, is through the higher power, the growth work, the ascension. And that's what I feel happening for him. And through that work and through allowing himself to surrender to, like I said, higher power, and give into, there's like an alleviation, I feel like, of this feeling of stuckness that he's been in, dissatisfaction, like I said. And as he gives over to a higher power, things are illuminating for him, and it's allowing him to grow. It's allowing him to reach new heights and start to awaken more and get in touch with what he really wants, right? And it's bringing his passions alive as well. And so the two advice cards that I have for the feminine and masculine. So with the feminine, it's follow your heart. And with the masculine, it's if you get nervous, focus on service. And so with the feminine, I think it's more about opening her heart, getting out of a defensive space. This is about nurturing herself, opening up to love fully, standing in the fullness of her truth and expression of her truth. And for the masculine, this may mean that he's moving into either a new profession, or he's finding ways to connect with others that are aiding him in his own awareness, his own awakening. So if you get nervous, focus on service. He's thinking about this. Why am I not doing something, he's thinking, in my life that where I'm contributing more? How can I help? How can I connect with other people? What's, this old thing that I've been doing isn't meaningful. There's dissatisfaction coming up with the masculine in the corporate world a lot. So if you've got a masculine who's in a corporate job, many of them are going to be leaving those jobs. Okay. And they're soul searching. They're either starting their own projects, or they're going to travel, or they're going to work for nonprofits, or they're doing their own things, starting their own ventures. We're going to be seeing this a lot over the next year. There's a general feeling of dissatisfaction, and from that feeling is change. So pretty powerful. For the shared energy, So one thing I want to say about surrender is we talk about surrender in the sense of being able to let go of attachment and being able to hold space for someone in the purest form. So we say surrender, which means in essence, let go of the cords of attachment so you can just love, right? But there's another aspect of surrender that I want to talk about, and I feel like it's coming up here with the feminine in the follow your heart. And that aspect of surrender is surrendering to each other. Meaning when you do have the opportunity to connect, or if you're coming into union, or if you've had communication, they're saying what's really paramount right now is the ability to surrender all that's held you back so that you can come in wholeheartedly and really surrender to one another. So that means surrender your beliefs, surrendering, your limiting beliefs, your judgments, your past hurts, your relationship baggage, your fear of getting hurt, your heart armor, the things that hold you back from giving fully who you are. They're saying there's a need for twin flames to surrender to each other, to show vulnerability. I feel like for the masculines, to show that vulnerability. And to fully express and let down your guards. And so that surrender is really important too. And that's why I named the video Full Surrender and Clarity, because it seems like the clarity is coming through for both the masculine and feminine. The feminine's realizing, okay, there's these last strands of attachment that I need to clear so that I can get in alignment with myself. And she's getting honest about what those patterns are that she needs to break within herself. And the masculine's getting clear about what it is he desires, and moving into a higher vibration. And this is going to enable both of you to come to the table, or to come together in fuller surrender. And that's what's necessary. Okay. So for the shared energy, the Imagine card is coming up. So it's saying imagine. So they're saying imagine what could be. Imagine how things could be, how your desires could be fulfilled if there was no fear, if there was no attachment to timeline or when it's happening or how it's happening. Could you just hold a vision for something that makes you feel good? Could you line up with what that feeling is without placing resistant energy there too? So for example, let's just say it's the feeling of coming together with your twin flame. So can you hold that vision without then naysaying it or downing it or doubting it or feeling negatively about it? Because it's when we throw those resistant energies in that we block the timeline. And so what would that look like if I just held the space for that coming together and that fullness, that surrendering into one another? This is also about your desires. What do you desire to create? How would it be if I just got really general about what I wanted to create? Well, I want to create more freedom. I don't want to be in the constraints of a corporate job anymore. I just want to create more freedom, and what does my lifestyle look like in this dream or this vision? Can you connect to that without getting hung up on the how? Okay, because we're being asked to daydream, we're being asked to envision, we're being asked to hold the vision and trust the process. And in manifestation, we must imagine, we must visualize. It's the way we're going to bring the vision to life. But the thing that's going to hold that back is when we doubt, is when we put the resistant energy in there. It's like a contradiction or wobble, as Abraham Hicks would say, in the vibration. So crowning over this, they're showing me yang energy. And that's really interesting because this is almost like a contradiction to how we manifest, right? Because we're really manifesting from just pure thought, pure intention. We don't need to will anything into being. Remember that. We don't need to will things into being. So what this is reminding us is when you take action, be sure that you're taking inspired action, because when we act on these intentions, these desires, these visions, it can't be, like I said, from a place of will or force or trying to go get it. This is talking about harnessing our yang energy, our masculine energy, in its healthiest form, which is inspired action. Okay? That's like knowing when to take action. You'll just know in your gut. That's your feminine power. And then you'll know what the right moves are when it's time to take the action. If you don't know, don't do anything right now. Okay? And that will come to you. It'll come over you when you're in alignment, okay, with yourself. This is reminding us not to force or push things. But it's also reminding us how powerful we all are, both the feminine embodiments and the masculine embodiments. We all have masculine energy within us, and we're being called to harness that in its healthiest form. Ask yourself, where have I been too forceful? Where have I been willing things into life? Where have I been defensive, fearful, oppressive? Where have I been exerting force, or I'm not standing in my truth in a way that I can just, harness my masculine energy? And that's your action taking energy. And in order to have really healthy action taking energy, you've got to be connected with your feminine power as well. Because like I said, it's the creation energy from your feminine power, and then trusting, being present, right? Being in the now. And then it's in the now that inspired action takes over. It's not from overthinking. It's not from analyzing. It's not from force or trying to make something happen or doing something because it's like it has to happen now or the way that you want it. It's more like this is going to come over you. It's going to wash over you, and you're going to go, oh, now I know what to do. Oh, now's the time. Oh, I'm just feeling this impulse. Yep, I'm going to do it now. So it's trusting that. And that, they're saying this is we need that action taking there. You need to learn to harness this quality, this masculine quality in a healthy way. It's such a beautiful piece of how we do bring things into life. But it is not through taking action that we bring things into life. This is just something that assists us in doing it. And so one of the things that comes up for me is get clear about, so some of you say, I'm really lonely. I feel like no one is with me on this journey, or no one understands this journey. And I always tell you, well, go take a class or a workshop, find your soul tribe. And then you go, but how? I don't know. Well, it's like, just go find something, put it out to the universe. So this is the perfect example, because the tribe is also coming up underneath for this shared energy. And this is about not trying to figure out how you're going to meet with your tribe, but just putting the intention out there, right? From a feminine, being in your connected to your divine feminine power, your creation energy. Okay, power of intention, law of attraction. I want to connect with other individuals who are supportive, who are on an ascension path, who are high vibrational, who get it, who understand me, who I don't need to explain myself with. I just feel understood around. Okay, that's your tribe. Put that intention out. And then you say to me, well, where am I going to find a class? Well, then this is where the inspired action comes. I've put the intention out to find my soul tribe. Now I'm just going to, I'm going to Google, spiritual development classes in my area. That's inspired action. Or, you may be in a cafe or a coffee shop and see like something on a bulletin board, and you may go grab that, right? That's the inspired action. Oh, there's this class. Oh, I'm going to go grab this piece of information. I want to connect with those people. So it's twofold. It's imagining what you want to create, who you want to connect with. It's the intention. It's setting the intention, holding the vision. And then it's taking the action when it's inspired. All right? And this, I feel like, in what's above this in the tarot deck is forward movement, okay? And this is getting the resistance out of the way. This is moving forward and clearing the resistant energy that we just talked about, okay? Underneath this, past life, early life card, we're seeing the mother card come up. And so this again is speaking to those of you who had moms who were role models for you and that were not fully rooted in her feminine energy, where she was like expressing a false masculine energy. That could be the warrior energy, in which she was a single mother or a widow, where the weight of the world was on her, where she was just closed off emotionally. And she taught you kind of, or you were taught through the roles of your parents, like an unhealthy perspective or an unhealthy way of looking at or relating to masculine energy and feminine energy. Again, these male-female roles come up again. So just to recap, clarity is already here for us. It's getting clear about what you want, period. Not about the how, not about the when it's going to come, just what it is and why. What are the feelings behind it? What does it feel like? And it's getting rid of this complacency for the masculine, and it's getting rid of this dissatisfaction. It's getting clear about what he does want. And he doesn't have to know specifically. He just has to be clear about what he doesn't want. And that's become very clear for him. And that's helping him give over to a higher power and create new. And that is giving over to a higher power, surrender. Okay? Going, I'm going to make this change. I'm going to make this leap. I'm trusting. Okay? And for the feminine, it's breaking her cycles. These negative patterns, these negative lines of attachment, these cycles, these not standing in her truth, not being in her feminine power and balance, right? Swinging on the pendulum. And they're saying, get in the here and now, be present. That's how we're going to be able to fully surrender and allow things to come to us, and also get into the fullness of our expression and the truth of who we are. Following our heart is a big thing. And remembering that surrender is not just letting go of all the lines of attachment, negativity within us and negativity in our connection, but it is also that we are being asked to fully surrender to one another, so that when we come together, we're able to fully love without holding back. Okay? So I'm going to leave you with that. I don't feel the need to even look at the bottom of the deck cards or comment any further. These were big messages. I've let that soak in. Listen to this again if you need to. And I will see you all next time. I probably will pop up in about a week or so with a full moon in Virgo, more specific for the astrology update. Okay? So I'll see you soon. Have a great week. Bye.